All right, so usually we're here about every month now with the Los Angeles Lakers. They just dropped one to the Charlotte Hornets last night, and they dropped another one to the Kings just a couple days ago. And to be completely honest, I don't even know where to start with this video. Like, we can talk about what the issues of the Lakers really are. We can talk about what Luka Doncic has been doing. We can talk about the absence of Austin Reeves. We can talk about the coaching. But there's a lot of things that are wrong with this Los Angeles Lakers team, and somehow we're blaming Luka. Now, over the last 8 games, I'd say Luka's been pretty freaking good. 34 points per game, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, getting to the free throw line or shooting 11 free throws a game, still shooting 57% inside the arc. But the biggest change for me is the 3 point volume, where he's shooting 38% on 9 a game. That is substantially different from his averages to start the season, where he was shooting about 32% on maybe around 12 a game. So if we take a look real fast at what he was doing in the stretch before, basically since the new year. Since the new year, Luka's been shooting 9 threes a game. When before that, he was shooting 11 on 32 a game, still averaging around the same amount of points. In this regime, he's shooting about 12 2 pointers a game, to where now he's taken the 3 pointers down about 2 3 point shots a game, and now he's shooting 13 twos a game. Really freaking good. Really freaking good. I don't think Luka is the problem. Now, even with if we just do the basic on off, the Los Angeles Lakers are a 122 offensive rating with a positive 4 net swing, or he has a plus 8.66 offensive swing and a plus 9.5 net swing. And mistakenly enough, the Lakers are 1 point better with Luka on the floor defensively. I mean, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say. But if we take a look at the three man, with or without you, with obviously the Lakers' big three here, if we just take a look with Austin and LeBron, um, the Lakers with Luka on the floor, still operating as the best or second best offense in basketball with a 122.2 offensive rating. With LeBron and Luka, it's a 121 offensive rating. With Luka and AR, it's 127.8, undoubtedly the best lineup in basketball. So, and if we take a look at Austin without Luka, 115.6 offensive rating. I know short sample size. And then if we took at Austin and LeBron, it's a 122.6. So there is a pattern here. There's a pattern here. Or if we just look at LeBron on the floor without Luka or Luka or Austin, it's a 117.9 offensive rating. So there's a pattern here. There's a pattern here because when I look at some of the best players in the league, whether it's Victor Wembanyama, whether it's Anthony Edwards, whether it's Nikola Jokic, whether it's SGA, these guys have rosters around them to combat their weaknesses. I would argue the Lakers don't have nearly the roster to hide Luka's flaws. So we see Luka's flaws a little bit more than we would see an Ant flaw, or we would see a Wemby flaw, or a Jokic flaw, or an SGA flaw. Like, we would see that much more often with this Lakers team. Even if we take a look at play types, Luka Doncic is giving you 1.18 points per possession in isolation on 5 attempts a game. 1.18 points per possession, whether that be in pick and roll, whether that be in isolation, he's still giving you 1.18 points per possession while shooting 48% from the field in that mark. If we take a look at isolation points per game, Luka Doncic is third in the league. So even if we take a look at his play types and the possessions, you can see he's averaging the most points per possession out of anybody with at least 3 isolation attempts or more. If we go down, maybe even 2. Maybe even 2. Oh no, because Tyler Hero was averaging 1.35 points per possession in isolation. So even if we take a look at pick and roll, where Luka Doncic is by far, I wouldn't even say by far, but is the highest volume pick and roll player in basketball, he's still giving you a 1.03 points per possession, which is a very, very high number. And then if we look at his counterpart, Austin Reeves, who's giving you 8.3 possessions at 1.13 points per possession. So I don't think Luka is the problem in all this. I really don't think Luka is the issue in what the Lakers are doing this season. I just think there are some major fundamental flaws with this basketball team. And again, this is things I've been saying all off season, all season. Um, I just think one, the play calling is a little dry. I don't love the fact that Luka Doncic operates in pick and roll and then there's nothing else happening on the floor. Like, for example, in the postseason, actually, I can show you guys much better. And it's kind of like a give and take situation with the Lakers offense. Like some of it is execution, some of it is play calling to the point where it's like you see here, they're going to run a type of a kind of like Spain pick and roll where if you guys notice, it's basically just pick and roll with a guard right here that you can see setting a back screen on Tyrese Maxey so there can be an easier lob or lane to drive for Luka, but it's just not executed correctly. It's just not executed to the level that you would want it to because now there's still an effective low man. And it's like LeBron and Jake LaRavia don't make the defense really have to command anything. Like there are two, I would say, worst defenders, bad defenders on the floor, and the Lakers don't really attack them. Like they give defenders too many bad defenders too many plays off. Here's another possession when there's absolutely nothing going on outside of the Ayton and Luka two-man pick and roll. Like I think there could be multiple sets of actions used here. Like Rui Hachimura is a very good shooter, but he's also somebody that you can put on a Tyrese Maxey and mismatch attack. You know, there's a Andre Drummond in here playing high pick and roll. Like there needs to be more stress put on these bad defenders that the 76ers have on the floor. And I just don't think that this is something that's good for this offense. That's one thing or one of my issues with this team. And then this is another thing that I would like to put into this, put into my thought process with this Lakers team. I've said it multiple times on multiple different platforms, whether it was Bought on Live with Mars of Real Talk, whether it was on the Hoop Talk podcast, whether it was here, whether it was on TikTok, whether it was on YouTube Shorts or Instagram. I don't think Luka should be trying to lead a top tier offense anymore. I just don't. I don't think Luka Doncic needs to be trying to lead a top tier offense. And if you are going to have a top tier offense with Luka Doncic around or Luka Doncic as the forefront of that offense, you're not going to be a championship level team. You're just not. I think the best thing to do to put next to Luka Doncic is an extra ball handler and defenders. That's really what it needs to be. Size, athleticism, rebounding, and defensive talent around Luka Doncic because we just looked at the numbers earlier in this video. Luka Doncic without Austin Reeves or LeBron on the floor is still leading the best offense in basketball. I think with the Lakers having their first round pick this year, I don't know if they're going to use it. I don't know if they can use it for trades. I don't know what the situation is with that. I just know they have that pick. There are some athletes in this draft that I think the Lakers could try and get. I think they can try and move up in the draft and go get a guy like Tonde Esafu, who's low-key getting really underrated by the draft scouting world right now. I think there are some free agents. A guy like Matisse Thybulle, who's been hurt and only played 4 games this season, is one of the best defensive playmakers in basketball or one of the most underrated defensive playmakers in basketball. He's going to be on a bargain this season, especially since him missing majority of the season. Maybe you should make the call. Robert Williams is another guy that's going to be getting out in free agency. Dean Wade is another guy. I've talked about these guys. I've talked about these names multiple times on this channel. And again, these aren't like fantastic guys. These aren't fantastic guys, but it's better personnel than what you're running out now. You have multiple expiring contracts, whether that be Gabe Vincent, whether that be Maxi Kleber. You just need guys with the motor, the athleticism, and the defensive skill to come in and really help this team out. And right now, it just feels like with LeBron, and this is no slight to LeBron, he's been playing fantastic over the past few weeks. It just feels like this relationship has run its course to where if LeBron doesn't retire, I don't think he's nearly going to get the money the Lakers are have been giving him, or I don't think he's going to be on this Lakers team next year. And that would probably be where the expectation hits a ceiling for this team this season. I don't think the Lakers are going to make any trade deadline moves for them to be like put into this category to where, oh, they can make a serious run. With the foundation of this team and how they're playing, I don't think there's a content or a team in their tier that they can be in a playoff setting. Like if we take a look at real fast, if we just take a look at some of the standings and where they're at, in the Western Conference right now. Right now they sit at 5th. So they'd be playing Minnesota in the first round. Still don't think that's a good I still don't think that's a good matchup for the Lakers. I still don't believe that's a good matchup for the Lakers. And I'm such a bad content creator. You guys can't even see the standings. Right now, the Los Angeles Lakers are 5th in the Western Conference, and they'd be playing the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round. I don't think that's a good matchup for them. I don't think that's a good matchup for them. I still don't think that's a good matchup for them. With a team like Houston, I don't think that's a good matchup for them. I think that's a better matchup. I don't think that's a great one. I would like them against Phoenix. But they would have to move up maybe to like the second or third seed, and I just don't see that happening because the Lakers have had a pretty easy schedule from now to from the start of the season. If we take a look at the Lakers schedule real fast, I just want to take a look at who they have coming up. They just lost to the Hornets last night, and then if we take a look, as a matter of fact, let's go to ESPN. As a matter of fact, no, we're fine. They have the Raptors, they have the beat up Nuggets, they have the Clippers, they have the Mavericks, they have the Bulls, then they have the Cavs, then they have the Wizards, then they have the Knicks, then they have the Nets, then they have the Sixers, Warriors, Thunder, Spurs, Mavs, Clippers, Celtics, Magic, Suns, Warriors. That's going to be a very tough stretch from February 5th all the way to February 28th. The whole month of February is going to be a very tough month for the Los Angeles Lakers. They have Philly at home. They have the Warriors at home. They have the Thunder at home, I believe. Yeah, they have all these guys are at home. This is like a home stretch for them. This is like a 7-8 game home stretch. Jesus Christ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-game home stretch against those teams. So that does help. Then you have an away stretch or a back-to-back away stretch where you have Phoenix and Golden State. And then you kick off March with Sacramento, then New Orleans. I would assume Jokic will be back by March 5th. And then you have the Knicks, Timberwolves, Rockets, Nuggets, Rockets, Heat, Magic, Pistons. Then you have the schedule is not going to get any easier for the Lakers anytime soon. The schedule is not going to get much easier for the Lakers anytime soon. Where in the past, they've had some really good games that they should have won. Like, for example, games like this against the Hornets need to be wins. Games like this against the Kings need to be wins. Games like this against the Bucks need to be wins. And then you take care of business against Grizzlies, the Pelicans, things of that nature. But this year just is not the year for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I'm pretty concerned. By the way, shout out to Jason Timp. I was watching his trade ideas for the Lakers, and he was talking about the Rich Paul thing with how he's been marketing Austin Reeves like he hasn't been one of the best basketball players in the league, and Jaren Jackson just is not what the Lakers need. I mean, yeah, defense, but we need a defensive anchor. We don't need somebody who can be a good defender on a really good defense. We need somebody who can be a defensive anchor, and Jaren Jackson just is not that. But ladies and gentlemen, that is my thoughts on the Los Angeles Lakers. And if you guys like this type of content, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at ATB Sports 1. Make sure you guys follow me on TikTok at TheBuzzerENT. And make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at TheBuzzerSports_. And with all that being said, I will see you guys next time. Peace.